All right, welcome back to the Forfeit Fatherhood. Today, my guest is Terry Braggs. He's a 16-year culinary artist. He's a veteran in the game. He's an executive chef at Stanford University, which is a big deal. He's also a high-end private chef. You might get to see him doing some of that if you're watching this on YouTube. He's 38. He's a father of two kids, an 18-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son, and he is a good friend of mine. I've known him for Jesus now 14, 15,
It's been a
longer than
long
that.
time, man.
It's
Like,
been a
yeah, I
long
think
time.
longer than that, like
It's been
almost
like,
20 years or
yeah, it's
something.
been like since 97 or something crazy, right?
Serious, man. We go way back.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
remember what I told you. It's a random thing right here. I remember one day in high school, I told you that I was gonna try to do stand-up comedy. And
Yes.
you and you were like, what? You're not even funny.
Hey, I was lying, bro. You're funny. You were funny then, you're funny now, but you weren't like so I guess what I would have compared you to at that time was like Martin or
Right,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
You wasn't stand-up comedy funny. You was like you could have been on Martin, you could have been on the show though. Like you was
I could
goofy
have been like a
comedy.
guest.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah. You know
It's
what's funny?
random how I remember that. Like, I don't even know why I remember that.
It's crazy. I was talking to my mom yesterday. This is how far back we go, and she was like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm interviewing Terry today for the podcast. She's like, oh, my friend Terry, does he still like to eat? And I was like, not only does he like to eat, mom, but he is like the chef. Like he's the chef of, like, you know what I mean? And she was like, oh really? She's like, I knew he was gonna do something
Yeah,
with food.
that's great, man. It's great that your mom's doing good.
Yeah, she's doing good. She's doing good. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's Man. We go way back, bro. It's
Yes,
a
sir.
blessing,
Yes,
though.
sir. All right. So tell me a little bit about you. I mean, obviously the bio doesn't do you any justice. You do way more than what's on there. Tell us a little bit about, who you are, what you do.
Well, man, I stay pretty busy. The few things that you did highlight are huge things in my schedule, especially the part about being a dad. You know, like my son is he's finishing up his sophomore year, almost 16, and my daughter, she finished high school last year. And more than anything, man, like right now they just need a lot of guidance,
Yeah.
especially my daughter being out of high school and she's trying to find her way. So I like to give her a lot of independence. And so yeah, it's a cool journey to be on with teenage kids, man. And it takes up a good amount of my time. As you know, the father role is it's really important.
Yes, sir.
And as far as what I do at Stanford, that's pretty much like my Monday through Friday thing. I took a little bit of time off to actually be with my son. There's another random thing that actually happened with my son. My son he went into cardiac arrest a
Oh
couple of
wow.
months ago during basketball practice.
Oh wow.
Quick story: cardiac arrest. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks. He bounced back. Come to find out, he's had a heart issue his whole life that his mom and I never knew about, and it came out during basketball practice because it flared up whenever his heart rate went up. Basically, long story short, my son had open heart surgery 2 weeks ago,
Oh man.
and it was to fix the problem though. So he will recover 100%, play basketball again, and all that great stuff. But since he's been out of the hospital since about a week and a half ago, I took some time off of work to just be with him during his recovery.
Okay.
It's not something that I share on social media or anything like that. I didn't even really want attention for it
Yeah.
or nothing like that. But yeah, that's something kind of behind the scenes that I've been dealing with my son. It takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
that makes sense.
but like I said, he's gonna fully recover and everything. And so currently I'm taking a couple weeks off of work. But then yeah, I'm also a private chef. And like I said, I'm taking you on the go with me today. And I'm dropping off some meals from one of the warriors. And this is just kind of like part of my grind, man. Like my daily grind balancing being an executive chef to a private chef and a dad and just a friend. I got a bunch of great friends in my life. I would say, honestly, one of the reasons for my continued success and consistency, excuse me, has been because of my friends. And I got great friends in my life that support me. You being one of them, and it has just it's been great to feel that over the years. So I'm here, and I'm going to continue on and try to set a good example for everybody around me and for the people that's coming up too, because I have chefs that work underneath me, chefs that I've employed that look up to me, you know. So I definitely want to continue to be that role model for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you say executive chef, right? Executive chef at Stanford University, what does that mean? You in the cafeteria, like you you smacking hands when people aren't doing stuff right? Like what does the executive chef do? I imagine it's like Hell's Kitchen or something. Like you're in there yelling at people, like smacking dishes off the table. Like, what is this?
Oh my God, bro! Stop watching so much TV. Nah, man. Nah. It's a big job, man. But basically, I'm like, I'm delegating everything going on. I rarely cook at Stanford. I got a lot of staff and just a lot of people. I got a lot of responsibility. So my job mainly is just to make sure that things are running smoothly on the day to day.
Gotcha.
When it comes to just like the food production. And no, it is not a cafeteria, my brother. It is it's a dining hall.
Excuse me. Sorry.
So the students do come through, students, staff, faculty, they do all come through to get their food and everything, but everything is already all packaged up in meal containers and ready to go for them when they come through, as of, you know, things have changed with COVID and everything.
Yeah.
So again, like I'm less hands-on with the food and more so designing menus, doing a lot of Zoom meetings and management stuff and delegating work. And whenever there is something that I want to do and something special, I basically let my staff know what it is that I want to do, and I show people what I want done, and then it gets executed by the staff.
Okay.
So I'm the executive chef in the second largest dining hall on the campus. And I get about between 500 and 600 people coming through my dining hall on a daily.
Wow.
And so yeah, again, it's a big job, and I definitely couldn't be the only one in the kitchen throwing down.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's a big job, man. Jesus, 500 or 600 people a day, and that's like
Yeah,
multiple meals throughout the day too.
yeah. So that's
Man.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And in the fall, we're gonna move on to we do like a nighttime snack where we're open from like 9 p.m. till 3 a.m.
Oh wow.
And we'll serve stuff for students that are up late.
Wow. Okay. I imagine that Stanford students are up late studying hard, so that's gonna be a heavily trafficked time too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like these are the top minds of tomorrow. You
Yeah.
know, we got a lot of just a lot of talent at Stanford, and so that, you know, Stanford definitely makes sure that they spare no expense when it comes to these students getting taken care of.
Yeah. That makes
For
sense, man.
sure.
Okay. All right. And then so you're executive chef there, and then on your own personal thing. So you got your own business where you're doing where you're a personal chef as well. Like how does that work?
It's, you know, like this is my brand that I started. I started it about like 3.5 years ago,
Okay.
and I didn't plan on being an entrepreneur. It was something that just kind of happened, and I had to do it because I had to make some money at the time, and it ended up just working out, and I just pursued it and still going, and I've been able to build a great brand for myself. But I literally do. So the services that I offer is, one is a personal chef.
Hmm.
Uh, Two is uh, private events. So I do like private dinner parties for people. If you wanted say if you wanted to have friends over to the house uh, for your wife's birthday, but you didn't want to have to worry about the food stuff, you would call someone like me to come over and we could design a menu that you like and something custom. And then I would come with my team and then we create the whole experience and enhance the experience of the birthday party.
Okay.
And then clean up and go. And then so there's the private chef, then there's special events, and then virtual cooking lessons, which is taken off as well. Which
Yeah.
you know a lot about. Which you know a lot about. I gotta take my glasses off so you can actually see me.
Yeah. We talked about that a little bit in the pre-pod last
Yeah,
year during the pandemic. We weren't able to get out and celebrate my wife's birthday the way that we wanted to.
yeah,
She has a favorite restaurant and a favorite dish, and I called my man up and was like, "Hey, can we make this happen virtually, like a virtual cooking session?" And like we cooked it, and he coached us up, and he cooked too though, because he was
yeah,
eating,
yeah.
right? He ate
Yep.
with us, matter of
Yeah,
fact. Like
I
we
ate
all
with
ate
you.
together.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we got a couple of friends together and we all did it, COVID style, virtually, like, and we all hopped on at the same time, and it
It
was
was so much
phenomenal.
fun. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so much fun.
Yeah. It was
and and
awesome.
and like I was saying, after that, it pretty much took off after that because that little clip that I posted from doing it with you guys, like people were hitting me up after that. Like a church hit me up, and then like corporate stuff, and then like other couples hit me up as well. I did it for like a bachelorette party for like a bunch of ladies.
Yeah.
It's been really cool, man. All new experiences for me, and just all stuff that I love to do. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we talked about business a little bit and entrepreneurship. Like,
Hmm.
that process of getting started, because I know there are a lot of fathers, especially coming off the pandemic, that are in a situation similar to where you were when you started your business, where they just kind of out of necessity need to build a business. Maybe they lost the income or something like that. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're trying to create these opportunities for themselves. Like, what was your experience with that? Did you have some obstacles that you had to overcome, or like what was kind of like your biggest win and your biggest obstacle, I guess?
Um, I mean, the biggest win was just staying consistent, and I had already created my business before the pandemic, but it hit me really hard because I mean, the the bulk of my business was me being in person, and
Yeah.
at the time, nobody wanted anything in person, So like, I had to really like dig deep and figure some things out for myself if I was gonna, stay in business. So I mean, I'll keep it all the way real with you, man. Like I started out, I literally typed up a bio for myself on my computer, printed out some flyers, and I went around into my neighborhood. No one was going anywhere, right? So because we were in quarantine, so
Right.
I literally walked around in my neighborhood and put flyers on my neighbor's doorstep, just letting them know that there's a private chef, in the neighborhood, and if anyone needed anything, to feel free to call me. And it wasn't so much like literally like maybe one person called from the neighborhood, but
Right.
it wasn't so much of trying to get a client in the neighborhood, but I was more so just trying to move energy,
Yeah.
and sometimes when you're in a rut and you're trying to figure things out, you got to just move some energy and just get out of the house and go do something. Because when you move the energy, it just creates a current, and then and things happen. So I did that. I was like staying consistent on my social media, constantly reaching out to people, and before I knew it, I was doing like some drop offs, and then virtual cooking lessons, um, and it was just kind of like one thing after another. But the main thing was just staying consistent and being flexible
Yeah.
about like what I had to offer. Because I could have just said, "Man, all I can do is be in person."
Yeah.
So there's no way for me to make money, and there's nothing that I could do.
Right.
And that would have just been, the end of me, because nothing was happening in person. So uh, I had to swallow my pride
Yeah.
and humble myself, really, because really I literally like started from scratch again, all over again. It was like I just started my business all over, and I had to get clients and get somebody to hire me again. And didn't matter who I had cooked for in the past, didn't matter what celebrities I had cooked for or whatever. It was brought back down to the ground level, and
Yeah.
I had to just grind it out again. So in tough times, um, you gotta silence the ego, humble yourself, stay consistent, be flexible, and just really, really go in, focus on what it is that you're trying to do. Uh, and that's like the best advice that I can get, because that's all I did. All I did was I just focused in on what I wanted. I was just trying to be flexible. I didn't know what was gonna work.
Right.
I didn't know if handing out flyers was gonna work. I didn't even know virtual cooking was gonna be an option. I didn't know I was gonna be doing drop-offs, but I was open to whatever opportunities came my way. I told myself I was gonna make the most of the opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and that's ultimately what got me through the pandemic. And then right at the end of the year in December, um, again, I feel it was me just moving energy and continuing to work regardless of how much money I was making. Stanford called me, and they offered me the job. So it just goes to show about just consistency and staying with it, not giving up.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I talk about, and I was talking to my wife the other day about like things in life have parallels, right? And hearing you talk about your journey during the pandemic with your business, and you can draw a parallel to parenting, to fatherhood, right? There are going to be times,
Oh, absolutely.
where you're just uncertain. You're trying something and like, I just hope this works. I'm going to be flexible. If it doesn't,
Yeah,
I want to, then I'm adjust and make these different changes. And, you got to be consistent with the way that you parent,
consistent.
right? Like you can't be,
Yes.
sometimes you're hard on this and then sometimes you let it slide.
Right.
I mean, you have to show them consistency. And all the things you just talked about, and entrepreneurship is fatherhood, just with some kind of light tweaks.
Right. Light
Um,
tweaks.
and a lot of times, like people don't realize how similar they are. When I was talking about it to my wife, I was talking about like working out and entrepreneurship. But like there's so many things that you can learn from building a business and creating a business, and fathering or parenting, and vice versa, right? Like they go
Yeah.
both ways. So that's really cool to hear you talk about that. I know you got to run in right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, I got a few minutes, because
Okay.
I really like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. I'm a big fan of what you're doing,
Yes,
and
sir.
I think it's um I think it's really important what you're doing, and I'm happy that you reached out to me, because all these 16 years, um excuse me, from my culinary career to becoming a father at a very in my early 20s. I feel like I just have a lot of experience that I can share with a lot of people,
Yeah.
and that could help a lot of people. So anytime I get the opportunity to share my story, and to teach some other people and give advice however I can,
Yeah.
it's always great. So I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, no, I look, bro. I that's why I reached out to you. Like, as far as my group of like immediate friends,
Yeah.
you got experience, dog. Like you
No,
know what I mean. Like you got adult kids. You know what I mean. And so like
serious.
in terms of like, you can give a whole 18 years worth of like, yo, this is what happened and this is what I did. And I did have some struggles here, but this is how we overcame them. And, everybody's situation is going to be different, but at least to have some understanding of what it might be like. Right. Because I think that's one of the
Right.
problems that we face as fathers is because we're men, we don't really talk. right? Like we don't talk
Right.
about
Yeah.
how things are. We don't talk about what we're going through. We try to thug
Right.
it out, make sure that we, nobody knows we're struggling. And then
Right. Of
because
course.
we don't share, everybody else behind us is now struggling, right? And so
Right.
the whole idea behind this thing was to get guys who have experience talking about fatherhood, right?
Yeah.
And those guys who want to be better fathers, because I think at the heart of it, like if you're in your kid, like everybody who's like actively in their kid's life wants to be the best father they could possibly be, right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so just like anything else, like if for example I wanted to be the best chef I could possibly be, I'm not gonna like cook every once in a while. Like I'm gonna dive in. Like I'm gonna be watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts. I'm gonna be taking
Yeah.
cooking classes. Like you got to do all these things. So if for most of us that are in our active and in our kids' lives and want to be the best father we can be, we have to have resources, right?
Yes. Yeah.
In my own quest, like I just didn't feel like there were enough of those, or it was like really repetitive.
Yeah.
Like it's the same stuff over and over again, and it wasn't.
Right.
It was like, or you would get it from the same person, and so it's just their experience over and over again, right? And then
Right.
you need
Yeah.
to be able to hear like different angles on it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
From multiple people and
yeah,
different races. Like
exactly.
it's got to come from a lot of different places. I agree.
Yeah, because the
I agree.
fatherhood thing is 360, right? Like it's your whole world, right? No
Yeah.
matter no matter what you do, your number one title, in my opinion, is father.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
then so everything else kind of fits around that. And so if we're not building that, then those other things don't really work either.
Yep.
You know what I
It's the
mean? So
foundation. It's the
100%.
foundation.
So let's I heard you talk about energy, like moving energy, right?
Yes.
Um
Yes.
what is your take on like faith and fatherhood, or like religion or energy, like even, right? If that's what we call it, right? Like what do you think, how does that affect your parenting?
Um, like I don't how can I put it? I don't incorporate a lot of religion
Hmm.
into my like day-to-day parenting,
Right.
but more so spirituality and energy.
Like it.
Like I said, like I meditate daily, and it's become like a daily thing since the pandemic started, and I was going through so many things. I
Right.
was just like, whoa, I gotta like, whoa, bring it
Yes.
all down and reel it in. So I started meditating daily, and it really opened up a lot in my mind for me. And it just it's become like a daily practice that I incorporate into everything that I'm doing now. Before I was just using it for myself and just managing my own thoughts and everything going on. But then I was able to apply it to my reactions to like how I'm dealing with things with my daughter,
Yeah.
and then how I'm tackling issues with my son, and just any interactions that I'm having became about my energy and like the energy that I give off and the energy that I'm receiving.
Yes, sir.
And so it's really important. It doesn't have to be about religion or anything like that. It's just about like being the best person that you can be, and
Hmm.
being the best listener that you can be, uh, and the most effective communicator. Just all those things all the way around, full circle. So I think it's helped a whole lot. I think that meditation is like it's like the secret key to like unlocking like the doors in your mind. That might go over some people's heads, but like,
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
you have you
Yeah.
have you meditated before? Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, yeah, actually, and this is I'm gonna give a shameless plug here. Me and Ari have a podcast called Meditate, Motivate, and Movement. And so we
Oh,
do,
I didn't even know
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. We've
Wow,
been doing it for about a year and maybe 2 years now. 2 years this summer, actually.
wow.
Um, and that's what we talk about. Like it's a really, really important thing. Like meditation is always the first thing we talk about because your mind and your spiritual, like that's number one, right? Like if you're not
Yeah,
taking care of
yeah,
your mental health, um then everything else, kind of falls away, right? It all starts in your head, right? And so
Yeah. Yeah.
if you aren't able to have a practice of meditation, even if it's just breathing or breath work, or you take
Right.
a few seconds here and there to kind of gather yourself and maybe unclutter and clear some of your thoughts. And with parenting, I found for me, it's allowed me to be um, less reactive, right? Like
Yes. Yes.
I'm able to respond the way I want to, as opposed to letting my emotions control my reactions,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
so
Exactly.
because I have that connection with how I feel in the moment,
Hmm.
I can, like, when they're doing something I don't like, I don't immediately fly off the handle and be angry or yelling, because they don't receive it that way, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so meditation is huge. It's huge. It's huge. It's definitely something that people, like you said, it goes over some people's heads, and I think that's because we've put it on a pedestal somehow, and we talk about it like it's this kind of weird thing, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's really just shut up, be quiet,
Yeah.
like, what I
Seriously,
mean?
man.
Like, just be.
It's so beneficial. I would say the thing that I noticed first, like the thing that I really, really noticed first, like throughout the day after I started meditating, I really started to become conscious of my breathing, like throughout the day.
Yeah.
Um, and like there's times when I would be in certain thoughts in my mind and not even realize I'm holding my breath
Yeah.
in those thoughts. You know what I mean? And it was like a weird thing. You know, it could be like 2 seconds or 3 seconds or whatever, but in those couple of seconds, not even take a breath.
Right. Right.
And so it really started to, I started to become a lot more conscious of myself, my breathing, the thoughts that are going through my mind throughout the day. And then after I started to become so much more conscious of myself, then I could focus on the way I communicate with other people. Like
Right.
like like you said, like with kids, it's like seeing something that I don't really approve of or something like that. And instead of jumping
Yeah.
and getting and having an emotional reaction, being very conscious that hey, that's something that I'm really not feeling. But
Right.
how do I communicate that in the most effective way for that person to understand?
Right. Right.
You
It's like
know,
how you turn it into a teachable moment.
right,
Yeah.
right. And you know, here, another thing too. You know, there's all kinds of we have choices throughout the day. Everything is a choice,
Hmm.
and down to the way we react to things, right? So even if it's something about myself, something that I know I do, I don't know, repetitively that I don't really like that I do or something like that. Like what's an example I could use? Uh it's like those little moments where it's like, ah, oh, man, I hate when I do that. Like so, those little thoughts that go through our minds when we do something,
Yeah.
and we will like give ourselves like a like talk down to ourselves
Hmm.
about something really small, you know. So even things like that, where I'd be like, where in a normal reaction, I'd be like, oh man, I hate it when I do that, and get mad at myself in that moment. But instead, changing that to like a more productive thing and a more positive thing, and instead of being upset with myself, I could just like laugh at myself and just
Yeah.
say like, oh man, I can't believe I did that again. Silly me.
Right. Right.
Instead of just going straight to negative and saying, oh, I hate it when I do that.
Yeah.
Because it's those little things that really chip away at our mental, you know, and you know, it all starts with us, right? So we got to be happy with ourselves first. And it's about being content.
Yes, sir.
And it's not like I'm trying to walk around and just be all super happy every day, all day, you know, because that's just not even real.
Right.
But it is very real to be content with yourself every day.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
me, for me, that's the goal.
Yeah. I like that, man. I like that. And I like what you said about it starts with us, because, as fathers, as parents, like, you know, your household dynamic is whatever it is, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, you're kind of the role model, the leader, the example,
Hmm.
for your kids, for your family. And if you're out of control in your own head, right?
Right.
Or if you're negative talking to yourself,
Yeah.
not only are you going to be doing that to your kids, but then they're because they, when they do what you do, right? Whether you want
Right.
them to or not.
They
And
soak in all of that.
and like eventually, when you do have that awareness or that consciousness, you'll notice that they're doing certain things that you do. Like even now, I'll see my daughter do something I do, and I'm like, dang, I know where she got that from. Like, oh,
Yep.
dang, and I hear myself doing it. Like, and when I say something, I can hear my dad's voice or I hear my mom's voice. I'm like, oh, I hate
Yeah.
it when she
Right.
used to say that. Like, I can't believe I
Right.
just said that. Dang it. All right, I got to work on that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is super important, man. It's super important because I think a lot of times we miss that we're not raising children, we're raising adults, right?
Yes.
Like, because they're
Yes.
not going to stop at like kiddom. Like, that's not where this going to end. They're not going to be
No.
childhood. Like, they're growing up and they're going to be adults. And so, if you can
Yeah.
teach them, even through like representation or just, seeing you do it, if you could teach them how to be an effective adult, a conscious adult, an aware adult, then you're leaving them a legacy of, like you said, being content, right? And I think that's really, really important for us to do. So I'm glad you said that. That's super, super cool. I like it. I like
Oh,
it.
yeah. I mean, it's important. So again, I'm glad I'm getting to share it, because I talk about it like with my friends. Like my friends and I get together and it's like topic of conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't always get to just share it with, just people in general, people in the public.
Right.
But it's so important. It's so important.
Yeah. 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 I agree. I agree. Hey man. So look, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna switch it up on you real quick. Like, I know you used to hoop, right? And you talk about
Yeah.
your son. Your son hoops. Do you still shoot a little bit, or what? You hung him up officially.
I hung him up officially, man. Like I don't really hoop anymore, but I do work out. So I love to
Okay.
stay in shape. Uh and always follow what you're doing as well. I follow what you're doing as well with fitness.
Yes.
Because I have that kind of that same drive where like I like to stay in shape. I may fall off every once in a while, but I'm always trying to get back on my grind and stay in shape because it's important to just be the best person that I can be every
Right.
day.
Right. Right. So what's your workout routine looking like right now?
I'm about to drop
Go for it.
these off
No,
really
go for
quick.
it.
Is
Go
that
for it. I'm
okay?
I'm gonna pause it. Yeah. Go ahead. Okay. So yeah. So what's your? You fall off a little bit, get back on, but you stay active. What's your regimen look like? What are you doing?
As of right now, man, like
Oh.
I'm kind of in like the bulking process.
Okay.
I'm trying to trying to add some muscle. My whole life, man. I mean, I've always been a pretty slim dude,
Yeah.
and always just been slim. And so since I started, since I stopped playing basketball and just started taking like just weightlifting a lot more serious,
Hmm.
I just been trying to like put on some muscle and just like thicken up a little bit.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my daily routine, like my workouts, I'm pretty much all compound stuff. So I'm like I'm heavy bench, heavy squat, deadlift, back rows, um, curls, you know, uh, curls for the girls,
Yeah, you slid
you
that one
know,
in there. He's like, yeah, I'm heavy compound curls.
curls. But yeah, I'm the bulk of my routines right now are like compound movements, and I'm working out right now like between 3 and 4 times a week.
Okay.
I don't give myself a hard time about exact days, just because my schedule is pretty crazy. So
Right.
I make it a point to make it to the gym, but it's pretty much like whenever I got time. I know if I got like an hour and a half, or I know I don't have anything to do, I'm hitting the gym.
Okay. I like
So I
that.
just make sure to incorporate it into my it's like incorporated into my daily routine. It's like as soon as I get that time, I know what I got to go do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool, man. Because I like that you keep it it's a priority, but you keep it light. And it's not like, you're
Yeah,
putting the additional pressure on yourself to get it done. You just know, like, okay, instead of, Netflix for that hour and a half, oh man, I got an
yeah,
hour and a half. I get to go work out. I get to go take care of my fitness.
yep,
Um, and it's enough of a priority for you to be like, oh shoot, hour and a half today? Yeah, I'm gonna go kill
yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's
Especially when I know I've been going in and eating a bunch of cake and brownies and stuff like that. Because
yeah,
my weakness, man, like my weakness is chocolate. I love chocolate, so I eat cookies and brownies and cake, all that kinds of stuff. So if I know I've been going in on stuff like that, especially when I get that hour and a half, 2 hours, I know I got to go kill it.
yeah. How do you as a chef, right? Like, you're always around food, right? You're always cooking. How are you like avoiding eating that stuff all the time? Do you have like a certain thought process or a mindset around it, or are you just good with it?
Um, like I know I said like cake and stuff like that, but I'm not around that stuff every single day. And for the most part, I cook pretty healthy for myself. I like healthy food. So I'm naturally, I go towards healthier stuff.
Yeah,
It's just I got my little thing that I crave sometimes, which is cake or brownies or
got
cookies.
you.
And so on the day to day, I don't crave a lot of unhealthy stuff. So I guess not that it makes it easier, but like I just gravitate more towards what I like, which is the healthier stuff. And I like to have like a balance.
Yeah,
Like if I know I've been eating a bunch of desserts and stuff like that, I'm making a point to make sure I eat my broccoli.
smart,
So
smart.
yeah, it's about like a balance. And you might be able to relate to this. It's like when you're working out a lot, your body craves that good stuff. So I'll crave steak or I'll crave chicken. Like my body needs it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm like. That's what I'm craving. So I won't want the unhealthy stuff. I'll wait till I can get some chicken breast or something like that because that's what's really going to satisfy my hunger.
yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah, and that's true, man. I know a lot of people, depending on where you're at in your fitness journey, might struggle with that. But like, when you are in the gym and you're hitting it hard, like,
Yeah,
you go through enough in that, like you say, hour and a half of like struggle against the iron, and you're working out, and you don't want to sacrifice all that and go have a piece of cake. Like, you are,
yeah,
what I mean, when
yep,
your goal is to get bigger and stronger, you're like, okay, what am I going to eat to get bigger and stronger? You know that already, right? In 2021, I
right.
think almost everybody knows what they should and shouldn't eat, right? Like,
Yeah. If you
we're
haven't figured
pretty,
it out by now,
yeah, we're pretty clear on what we should and shouldn't eat. Now, like you said, everything is choices. We might make the wrong choice here or there, but we know, right? And
right,
you can
right.
align your goals fitness wise with what you eat fairly easily if you're sure of what you want, right? If you have clarity of what
Yes,
you want, then it's very easy to be like, okay, I'm not gonna have cake today. Like, it just doesn't make sense for my goal.
right.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah, and so you can kind of hold it off, and that's why I was kind of asking, and you definitely hit it there. It's like, when you're working the way you do, right? You crave the things that nurture that, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I
And it's
like that.
and it's about making it more of like making it more of like your lifestyle as opposed to like following a diet. Because like I don't follow any sort of diet. I just try to balance things out the best I can.
Okay. Do you
Literally, that's it.
this is my own, this is for me, right? I don't know if anybody else cares about this. So as a chef, do you have like a menu? Like, so we're cooking, or if, like, depends on where I'm at in my, if I'm cutting or bulking or whatever, I'll might meal prep, and I'll have like a quote unquote menu. This is what I'm going to eat this week. Or like for some of my clients, like, we'll have like a menu of this is what you're going to eat because we're trying to do this or that, right? For you, not on any particular, diet or anything, and you can cook really good food, right? So like, when you go to the store, are you just like, I want to make this today, so I'm gonna grab these items, or are you planning it out for the week kind of thing?
No, it's kind of it's like by feel. It's like whatever I want to eat when I'm at the when I'm at the grocery store. I may think about it on my way to the grocery store. I'll think about stuff that I want to have, but
Yeah.
it's never really like a planned thing. It's really like way thought out and menus and everything. At least not for myself. Like I'll have to do that for private chef clients where I'm planning out menus and stuff for them depending on what their goals are. But I don't really do it for myself on a daily. No, it's more so just about what I like to eat. Like for example, uh, the meals I just dropped off to the guy, it was like as far as starches, he got like sweet potatoes, he got regular mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. Uh, I think that was it. But and it was like all of those things. He's got options because he's also bulking. He's bulking. He's on a bodybuilder's diet. He's got to get a lot of protein and good carbs in him on a daily because he's also doing a lot of running. And so, you know, all of those things I make extra of. So whenever I like cook for somebody, this is all stuff that I eat for myself too. You know, so like I'll do a little meal prep for myself as well as for a client. So it always just kind of works out in that way. And that's like the benefit of being a chef or being a private chef is like I can just do that for myself when I'm cooking for other people.
Yeah, that's dope. That's like a side effect of it, right?
Yeah. Like I already got dinner and everything made for myself just because I did it for somebody else today.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So
and for my daughter.
there you go. Hey, so she graduated, right? How was this like she kind of had like a gap year kind of with the whole pandemic thing. Like how's that working?
It's cool, man. Like my daughter, her name is Gianna, by the way, and Gianna, she's a pretty like go with the flow type of person, and we had to have her graduate. It was like a drive-by graduation with family.
Yeah.
And since we were all quarantined, we didn't all get together and stuff like that. And since school has been over with, she was like ready to graduate high school anyway, and just kind of ready to get on with the rest of what her life. So as of now, when I relocated to Redwood City, which is down the peninsula, more towards the South Bay, and my daughter relocated with me. And she's currently taking like online college classes. And she's, like I said, she's just been kind of going with the flow. She works now. She's got her a job at Target and taking her classes and cooking with me more and just becoming more and more independent, you know. And it's really great to see, like, as a father, you know, her really starting to, you know, just really take control of her own life and want to do things on her own.
Yeah.
So it's
cool.
it's going good. You know, she needs advice. I found that since high school has ended, our bond is like way stronger. You know, like, bro, like seriously, through high school, it was like I didn't even know my daughter. Like she wanted nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I would try really hard to like do stuff with her and everything, and it was just always kind of like why are you talking to me? That kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And my feelings would get hurt. And I get all emotional and upset and be mad at her and stuff like that. And I've learned to how to like deal with those kinds of emotions, right? Like with meditation, it's really taught me how to really deal with myself,
right?
And get over myself in those moments. And it's not about me; it's about what she needs in those moments, you know. So, like I said, since high school has been over, though, our relationship has grown in so many ways. And I, of course, like as a dad, you know, you love to feel needed.
Right.
As a parent, you know.
Yeah. I got like 4 or 5 years before I have to deal with high school. So I'm no, I didn't even 4 years. So I'm not looking for I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not looking forward to that part of it because I know it's coming. Like, you know, that teenager,
Yeah, I
yuck.
already know already. I got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yuck.
Dang, why you gotta talk to me? Why do you have to yell at me? Why do you,
Yeah.
then just the emotional roller coaster of things. I'm like,
Oh
and but
man.
but at the same time, I can't speak for like all teenage girls.
Right.
You
Right.
know, your experience may be completely different than mine. Like you very well might have a great, solid relationship all through high school with your girls, which would be great. That was, just kind of my experience that I like to
Yeah.
share.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
either way, it'll definitely be a learning experience for you.
Okay, cool, cool. I mean, like I said, I look forward to it. I
Yeah,
look forward to every part of the journey, right? Like I'm excited about all
absolutely.
of it, ups and downs, right? I'm not
We
gonna
are
trade
here for all of it.
it. Yeah, I'm not trading it for anything else. Like I said on the
Right.
previous episode, this is my purpose. This is why I'm here, and so I'm gonna enjoy it no matter what, even on the worst
Yeah.
days, right? All right, so um, I don't want to keep you too long, so I got a couple of like questions to kind of ask you as we wrap this thing up.
Okay.
Um, so I read, like I mentioned earlier, trying to go all in on fatherhood and trying to be the best father, like reading books or listening to podcasts or watching videos or talking to talking to different people. Have you read or listened to anything that's kind of inspired you in your fatherhood journey?
Um, honestly, no. Like, I've I haven't listened to any podcasts about parenting or anything like that. Um, through this whole journey, I got listened to like entrepreneurial podcasts and read books about entrepreneurial stuff. I used to read a lot more about parenting when my kids were young because
Yeah,
I was so young and just didn't know stuff. And then even then, like after reading stuff, I would have a completely different experience.
right.
So like as far as the parenting stuff, I kind of gave up on depending on other people to, give me some wisdom or something about being a parent. Because
Right.
just like how I told you about my daughter's experience with me and how it changed after high school, I could tell you that, and then it's completely different for you. So
Right.
I just think that every kid, every parent, it's all going to be different,
Hmm.
and so I just like to approach it with an open mind and not really expect any one thing, and just deal with it accordingly.
Yeah.
And again, it more so instead of listening to podcasts and reading books and stuff like that, which is great. Um, I've I've gone inwards more and focused more on making sure that I'm investing into myself to be the best communicator, like the
Hmm.
best
Hmm.
best person that I can be. So again, I've more so gone in on like the meditation stuff and my energy and focusing on my energy, and like my daughter meditates with me,
Nice.
like so I've more so gone in on those things as opposed to listening to podcasts and stuff like that. But I think it's benefited me in a huge way,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in a huge way.
Yeah. I think there's a like a common theme, right, that you've kind of been hitting on as we talk, and it's like being a better communicator, going inward, being the best person you can be, and really working on yourself and your kind of own personal development.
Yes.
My assumption is even in those entrepreneurial podcasts or things that you listen to, some of the things you gravitated towards actually, as a father, as a parent, you are the CEO of your family,
Yes.
and so some of those things that you're learning about business and in business, like you talked about being flexible in business, you mentioned it again when we're talking about with your kids, right? Things are going to happen.
Hmm.
You have to be flexible and open. um
Yes.
Again, there's parallels
Always
there.
open.
Yeah, and so it doesn't always come in the same in the package you're looking for, right? Like we're talking about parenting
Yeah.
books, like the
Hmm.
knowledge you want to attain may not be in that parenting book. It may be in an
Right.
entrepreneurial podcast, right?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
have to be
That's true.
open to using it to benefit you as, like you said, a better communicator, just a better person, right? You have to kind of be able to take all of it because, like we mentioned before, fatherhood is 360, and all those things
Yes.
work together to help create, that relationship and that environment between you and your kids.
Yes. Plenty of times, plenty of times I've used entrepreneurial advice to parent my kids. Plenty of times. Plenty of times.
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah,
right. It's like, yeah, I'm the CEO of my family, so like I gotta hold things together and yeah, it applies to both.
yeah. And then, and two, and so in the position you're at now is like the executive chef. You've got all these other chefs and this staff that works underneath you.
Hmm.
And you have to be a leader for them, right? Like you're
Yes.
guiding them and leading them, and they look up to you and depend on you. So even in your business, just like in your family, you have people who are looking up to you, who need you to lead them as a group, but then independently, because they're all going to need
Yes.
something different from you, right? They're all going to respond
Right.
differently. And so, again, those parallels can be drawn. If you're working on making yourself a better person, you can be a better boss, you can be a better father, you
Yes.
can be a better significant other. And the bottom line or the common denominator is you.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing that I'm learning a lot of, uh, like one thing that Stanford is teaching me a lot of is delegating. And
Yeah.
it's not that I wasn't used to it before being an entrepreneur, but having such a large staff, like as an entrepreneur, I'm a small business, so a lot of it is on me. So I delegate, but on a smaller scale.
Mhm.
At Stanford, I'm delegating on such a larger scale, so it's teaching me a lot of those great skills. So actually, it's teaching me to find the strengths in the people around me and what they can do,
Mhm.
and letting them go and use their strengths and do what it is that they do best. So even for like, again, going back to my family, even with like my daughter, like I'm able to delegate things to her that she's really good at and just doesn't mind doing. And
Yeah.
then something that I know that she would rather not do, but like my son does a lot better, I'll delegate those things to him and just let them be happy doing what it is that they do, instead of saying like, you better get this done because I need it done. I don't
Right.
care if you want to do it or not.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, I want you to be happy doing what it is that you're doing. So I want you to do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
So this is what needs to get done. I want you to do what you want to do, uh, and to get to that goal. And then I want you to do what it is that you want to do to get to that goal. So we're all doing things that make us happy. Everybody's on the same page, and we're all making progress.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Okay. If you could step into my shoes, right? And
Mhm.
what would you ask yourself that I didn't?
Um,
Made you think a little
dang,
bit.
yeah, dang, that's a good one. Uh, well, man, you're asking a lot of great questions, man. We talked about consistency and um, yeah, we talked about food, balance, and energy, and I,
It's a
I
lot.
don't know, man. Like
It's
we
a
we
lot of
really
gems in here.
we really touching on a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of gems in here. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot a lot of gems, a lot of gems. Yeah, I honestly I can't think of anything just because we've touched on so much. I think you're asking all the right questions, and yeah.
I have now that I asked you that though, I do have one that I meant to ask you earlier. Um, so I got two girls, right? And,
Right.
and they're individuals, right? So I have to parent them differently, but
Of
they're still
course.
both girls, right? You
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
son and a daughter. What has been like the difference in parenting them and the personalities and genders? Is there a big difference there, or are we you kind of just teach parenting them as individuals?
Um, Yeah, that's a great question actually. So for me, I try not to let gender determine like what I'll ask of them. Like
Okay.
I like it to be a pretty even playing field. Like if I need the garbage taken out, I don't only ask my son to take the garbage out. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I you know what I mean? Like we should all know how to do those basic, skills that need to be done at home.
Right.
Um so no, I don't separate it like that, but yeah, they are individuals. Um my daughter, I know that dealing with my daughter, I have to be very specific about what it is that I'm asking her. Like if I'm asking her to do something, I need to be very specific and detailed about what it is that I need.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I've learned that, right? And with my son, it doesn't have to be so specific. I can just kind of give him a general idea of what I need, and he'll just go and do a little bit of everything that I asked.
Okay.
Those are like little things that I've noticed. Even like even my son is just a little more. I want to say I don't want to say he's more easygoing, but like he's easily satisfied. I guess I should say my son is easily satisfied.
Okay.
He could literally go shop for my son and buy him a bunch of stuff. Come home and be like, "Son, look at all this stuff I got you," and he'd be like, "Oh man, cool, thanks, Dad. This is great stuff. I'm gonna wear this stuff tomorrow." You
Yeah.
know, I can go shop for my daughter and buy her a bunch of stuff, and I know their sizes and everything like that. And I'll come home and I'll bring her a bunch of stuff, and she's like, "Really?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like this color purple. This is the wrong shade of purple. I don't like this shade of, it'll get very specific
Yeah.
about,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
and I
Okay.
like, okay, all right, I got to be a lot more detailed, a lot more specific when it comes to my daughter, um, less when it comes to my son. Not to say that they need not like one's easier than the other,
Right.
but just the way that I deal with them and talk to them and their needs is a lot different. But again, just to go back, like I don't with the things that I ask of them or from them, I don't separate that by gender.
Okay.
You know, I keep it pretty a pretty even playing field as far as what I ask of them.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
So
So
even if I don't know if you're having more kids or anything like that, if you do have a son and you got daughters,
I'm
like
done.
don't make your son do certain things just because he's a boy.
Yeah.
Or
No.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Your daughters just do certain things just because they're the girls. You know what I mean? It's like, we can all help and do a little bit of everything.
Right. I like that. I like it. I'm done, by the way. We're not having any more kids. We're finished. I'm outnumbered, dog. I'm done. I'm good. I don't want to end up, my dad, two girls, my stepdad, two girls. I got two girls. Like I know where I
Whoa.
know where this is going.
Whoa.
I'm good. I'm shut this thing down. Um,
Well, I got one of each. It's
yeah.
shut down, bro.
Yeah.
It is shut down.
Yeah.
And they're grown. So it's really shut down.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right. So where can the listeners find you online? Where can they hit you up at?
Cool. Well, I try to make it pretty easy to find me online. It's in the media. My website is chefbraggs.com. Social media is all Chef Braggs. Facebook, Chef Terry Braggs. My business page, Bragging Rights. Rights is spelled RYT''S. But if you just pretty much just look me up, Chef Braggs. Like if you Google Chef Braggs, all of that information would pop up. So
He just dropped it.
just
Just Google me.
just drop that. Just Google me.
That's how
That's
you
how I'm
know
gonna
you
end
made
it.
it.
That's how I'm gonna end it. Just Google Chef Bragg.
Yeah, that's how you know you made it. All right, here's the final question. This is the finisher, man. What does fatherhood mean to you?
Man, it means the world to me, man. Like I felt like my life, it gave my life so much more meaning when I became a father. It's like that became my why. You know, like a lot of people will have their, they have their why about like why they're pursuing a career, why they get up to do what they do every day. And a big chunk of that is because I'm a father and because I have two individuals that look up to me and they depend on me.
Yeah.
So it is everything for me, for real. My
Uh,
kids have been they've given my life so much more meaning. Not to say that it wouldn't have meaning without kids, but it gives it so much more meaning, and it has become my why.
yeah, I like that answer, man. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Like a lot of times you'll hear, and this is normally in goals and all this, like, what's your why? I like to say,
Yeah,
who's your why? Because usually your why is a
yeah,
person, right? It usually is a
yeah,
person. And no matter how, like when you work it down, like it may be something surface level that you say initially, but when you work it down to its core, it's usually a person or a group of people when you talk about your family or your kids.
yeah,
So I'm glad you said that, man, because that's it, man. They're the why, right? They are the why we
yeah,
do what we do, while we go out and face the world head up, chest out, when we don't want to, right? We could very well just stay home and curl
yeah,
up in the sheets and hit snooze, but we get up and we attack the day, with a vigor unknown to man, because we have
yes,
those people that depend on us, that look up to us. So I like that answer, man.
absolutely, bro.
All right, it's been great talking to you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day, out of your schedule, as busy as you are, to talk to me and talk to the listeners about fatherhood, man, and your journey in fatherhood and business and chefdom, And I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Oh, man, it's definitely my pleasure. Thank you for reaching out to me. I always appreciate you um, as my friend first, and just thank you for reaching out to me, man. It's been definitely been a pleasure. It's definitely been fun, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to share some of that, some of my experience with everybody, and
Yeah.
hopefully people listening can take something from it.
Yeah, yes. All right, man. Hey, I'm gonna let you go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Get some of
Okay.
that Bay Area sunshine on you.
Yeah,
Even though you
it's a
got on
beautiful day in the
you,
Bay.
you got on a hoodie, so that's how I know you in the Bay. Because the sun
well,
is
well,
clearly out, but you got a hoodie on, and that's the Bay Area for you.
yeah, that's the Bay though. Especially, I just drove to San Francisco, and I'm driving down the peninsula right now. So on the peninsula, it's a lot cooler than how it is like further inland. So if I was like East Bay, I definitely wouldn't have this hoodie on.
Right, right.
But the fact that I'm more on the peninsula side, close to the water, it's nice weather, but it's a little cool,
Yeah, yeah. I like it though. That's what I like about the Bay.
no doubt,
All right, my
no
man.
doubt.
Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care, bro.
All right, later.
Peace.